skin of a tarantula. Alright? So don't worry, it's not going to suddenly come alive, it's not a live spider, it's not a dead spider, it is just the skin, the exoskeleton, that they have to shed in order to grow bigger. They shed everything, they even shed their fangs, their spinnerets, their pedipalps, their hairs, it all comes off. They even shed their lungs. We also have a nice little mixed pot here. We've got crayfish, scorpions, we've got spiders, we've got what's this one? Here we go. The lovely cockroach has shed his exoskeleton too. So any animal without a backbone will have to shed to grow bigger. Some actually don't. For example, like this. Anybody know whose exoskeleton this belongs to? This is a snail. Now they don't shed their skin, so this is where it gets a little bit more confusing. Bear with me. They keep their shell with them forever.
Sorry.
They're born with it. It's very tiny and it grows and grows and grows as they grow bigger. So that's their exoskeleton. It keeps them safe. They don't change it. If it falls off, they're going to be in big trouble. So then we have some very interesting skills that invertebrates have. Now, first of all, can anybody tell me what the biggest invertebrate in the world is? I'll give you a clue. He is somewhere here. Do you know? It's not millipedes, it's much, much bigger than that. Yeah? I'll give you another clue. Oh, you're close, it's a squid. Yeah, this is called a colossal squid. They're like a giant squid. They're huge. They start all the way here. They go right the way round over there. Their sort of tentacles are just hooked over that edge of the building over there. So they're massive. They can go up to 18 metres. They've even been seen fighting whales in the ocean. So they are huge and quite scary as well. Now, we've gone from very, very big to very small. Can anybody guess what the smallest invertebrate is? I'll give you another clue because it's quite tricky. If you can all get your hands like this, turn it round and just wave. Just wave to yourself. You're waving to it right now. It is an eyelash mite. This little fella lives on your eyelashes. Don't worry, he's actually a goodie. They do a great job of keeping your eyelashes nice and clean, so you don't get infections, you don't get horrible bugs that are going to do damage in your eyes. So they actually keep your eyelashes really clean. They're great little cleaners. They do a fantastic job. So every now and then, just stop, just give them a little wave. Say, how you doing? Thanks for cleaning. So they're the smallest. In fact, they're microscopic. This has been blown up by about 1 million times. So they're really small. You can't see them without a microscope. So, also, something very clever about invertebrates is they're very good at hiding. They don't like to be seen. And that's because there are animals that would eat them for dinner. So, they have learned over many, many years to camouflage and adapt. There is one very clever little invert that manages to look just like a scary snake. But what kind of invert is this? What kind of invertebrate? Very good. It's a caterpillar. Now, they're not very dangerous, are they? But if an animal was to look at him, they'd think he was a very dangerous, venomous or poisonous snake, so they'd leave him well alone. And then you've got this little chappy just here. Now, what does it look like? It looks like a leaf, doesn't it? Absolutely. Like a crispy autumnal leaf, even with a little hole in just there. But this, in fact, is a butterfly. So they go above and beyond to camouflage and to try and go unnoticed. Now this is my very favourite here. Can anybody, tell the truth, see an invertebrate on here? Can you? Please, where can you see it? Oh, I think you like putting your hands up, don't you? Yeah. Very good, absolutely. Now it looks like an orchid, so it looks like a beautiful flower, but in fact, hiding on that orchid is an orchid mantis, just here. There's his head, just there, and his little antennae wiggling around. So he does a fantastic job. He's gone as far as to make himself the same colour as the orchid that he lives on. So they are really clever little animals. So now, Would you like to see some of the real ones? Yeah, you ready? So seeing as we've got our lovely shell just here, so obviously that's the shell of a snail that died. So we've got a real one now that I'm going to show you. Still alive, a little bit smaller. These are actually the giant African land snails. He's just eating a mushroom. So we've got a mushroom there. Hang on. There you go. Right, so this here is Turbo. Turbo comes from Africa. He's a giant, the biggest snail in the world, but he's still very young, so he's got a lot of growing to do. Once fully grown, they can actually be the size of a football. So they are rather large. And they're known as the crop pests, because in Africa, where they're from, they eat all the farmers' crops, so they're not very popular at all over there. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of information about Turbo. So he's got this lovely hard exoskeleton, or shell, as we know it. The shell keeps him safe. It's a living part of his body. And when he was a tiny little snail and hatched out of an egg, he was only, in fact, he was smaller than my little fingernail. But he grew and grew and grew in a spiral shape. And this part is the growing bit. So that will always